bowing in. So we're going to start off chariot stance. Hands and our feet are together, and we're going to bow kunye. This is just how we bow to begin the class, and we're going to bow out at the end of the class. So we're going to go ahead and warm up. I want you to put your hands on your hips, and we're going to circle our head. We're just going to do this a few times. We're trying to stretch muscles in our neck and our back, just so we can start moving around without feeling any pain. Good. Now we're going to put our hands off to the side, and we're just going to do some trunk twists. Try to turn all the way, but keep your feet stationary. I don't want you pivoting too much. I want you to have a little bit of a twist because your hips are stopping, but your arms are continuing to keep. Good. From here, let's go ahead and put our knees together, and we're going to circle just a little bit on your knees and your ankles. Next, we're going to go to what's called the socket stretch. So I'm going to put my hand on my hip, and I'm going to lean back. Notice my back toes are facing that way, and my toes are facing towards the front. I'm pushing down, and I'm leaning back. You'll be feeling a stretch right here on the inner portion of your leg. Lean back as much as you can. If you can't lean back too much, don't worry about it. We're working on it. Try to go farther apart with your legs if you can. If not, if you have to be up here, that's no problem either. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to turn our back foot so that our heel is up. Again, I'm going to have my hand on my hip. My other hand is right here on my knee. I'm trying to lean back. I should be feeling this right at the top of my quads and right on my hip. Lean back as much as you can. If you start to feel that you're falling over, go ahead and you can put your hand on the ground and just try to focus on pushing your hip down towards the ground. Notice the top of my foot is going to go down. I drop my knee down, and I'm going to push my hip towards the ground while also keeping my body up with my arms straightened. And I'm trying to stretch right here on my side and part of my glutes. And then with this part, I'm going to push my knee outwards so that I feel it on my glutes on my other leg. We'll hold this for a few more seconds. Good. And we're going to go and we're going to do the same thing that we just did, all to the other side. So we're going back to our socket stretch. From here, I'm trying to bring my chest up and push my hip down towards the ground as much as you can. Good. If you need to bounce a little bit, that's fine. I don't mind that, especially when you're still warming up. The bounce will make it a little bit easier for you. But now we're going to go ahead. We're going to turn back foot so that my heel is up off the ground, and I'm pushing my hip down. Again, if you need to catch your balance, you can put your hand, your fist on the ground, whatever. That way you don't fall over. That's no problem. Hold this for a few more seconds. Make sure to keep it. Now go ahead and place it on the ground. Turn so the top of your foot is right on the ground. Now we're going to drop our knee, and we're going to pivot toward the back. Again, we're trying to stretch right in here, and then my other hand is going to be pushing my knee outward or towards my bottom foot. That way I feel a stretch right here in my glutes. Good. Now what we're going to do, we're going to start just like this. And I'm going to pick a side, and I'm going to sit down onto that foot. You can have your foot flat on the ground, or you can go up onto the ball of your foot. Either way is fine. I'm going to use my other hand to post, and I'm reaching towards my toes. This time I'm trying to get a nice stretch of my hamstrings. If you can, try to get your head closer to your knee while still trying to maintain a straight back. And now we're going to do the same thing to the other side. So I'm going to put my hands in the front, and I'm just going to switch sides, just like this. So now I should be feeling the stretch right here in my hamstrings, and I'm going to reach for my toes. Good. From here, I want you to come up, feet kind of far apart, and I want you to put your arms on the inside, or if you can use your elbows. And we're trying to push our knees apart, almost kind of like we're doing the splits, but we're standing right now. So we're just going to push apart. You can use your elbows, is what I like to do, but if you can't quite get that yet, from here, we're going to do my favorite thing. We're going to go all the way down into our splits. So we're doing our center splits right now. We're going to have our hands right in front of us. Don't worry if you can't go all the way down, if you can only go down here or even up here. We're trying to make progress. This is our first class, guys, so we're working towards getting to the splits. If you can't do it yet, don't worry about it. What we're going to do is we're going to stick our left hand over our left leg, and sometimes you have to kind of come up a little bit and then drop back down, and that's no problem either. So now my left toes are pointed straight up to the sky. My right toes are pointed outward. If you're on a flip, trying to keep my back leg straight and my front leg. If you start. And go ahead and stand up. Hands on your hips. And we're going to make a big circle. This should feel good after you've done your splits. You can bend your knees here to make the hip turn a little bit more. It's no problem. And good job on that warm up. Let's go to as my front snap kick, which is going to look just like that. We're going to do just the first part first. So we're going to reach with our knees. Instead